I may not have hurt you, but if someone with the same banner as me, who calls himself a Christian, hurt you, if they didn't represent Christ well, I am sorry. You should have done a better job. And what can I do to serve you better now?
If you come from a church that had 200-300 people on a Sunday, and then now you leave that church and you go to a church that averages the 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people on a Sunday, you can't expect that the pastor at this mega church is going to be in the lobby shaking hands and kissing babies. If you have a 200-300 member church, you should know everybody's name. You should be hanging out with them. You should be talking to them because you have that luxury.
The conversation is not about mega churches, or it's about how healthy is your church. I think the thing to practice, if you're a ministry leader, are you more stressed about filling in your PCO slots instead of why someone can't show up? That's a health problem in my eyes.
I do hear a lot of the times when I guess they're larger churches or mega churches, oh, nobody knows me there, I feel unseen. Pastor don't even know who I am. It's not necessarily that you're not seen or that people don't know who you are, they don't care. It may just not be the opportunity that they have to be able to connect with you. At the end of the day, I'm here for a word.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the A5 podcast. Again, thank you so much week after week for supporting us, watching the show. Leave a comment, leave a like, share if you like our content, and don't forget, please do not forget to subscribe. So we're going to get straight into it. Today we're going to be reacting to a video about someone that I guess had a critique about just mega churches, and so we're going to react to her content. I want to say, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you guys know a little bit more about her, but it seems like from her demeanor and just her like just her attitude towards church, it seems like she used to go to church and now doesn't go to church anymore. Maybe was hurt by the church. I don't know what it is. You guys let me know, but yeah, let's watch this video and then we can get into it.
Do you ever realize how megachurches here in America are obsessed with authentic faith? God living humbly, loving radically. And then you walk in and everything is designed to look good. Perfectly curated worship team who buys new outfits for every single worship night. The Instagram-worthy stage with fog machines and lights flashing everywhere. The table with trendy merch out in the lobby. Coffees with little coffee cups with the church logo on everything. The outrageous events that happen almost bi-monthly. We talk about humility, but we hand out leadership roles based on charisma. We talk about loving others, but we measure success by attendance numbers, donations, how viral the clip goes. And don't even get me started on the spiritual growth plans that come with weekly milestones, small group participation, volunteer hours, like God keeps a punch card or something. It's like the more performative it gets, the more it's celebrated. And the less it actually resembles the thing it claims to teach. So here's the question. If faith in God is supposed to be personal, transformative, and honest, why does it so often feel like a very carefully produced show?
So much to say. I almost want to dissect this in parts.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. First of all, what is her name?
Ellie? That's okay.
Ellie Unbound.
Ellie, God bless you.
We're going to bound Ellie. And bind.
We're going to bind her.
And then cast.
Because her name is Ellie Unbound. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Ellie, thank you for your comments and concerns about church. Come on the show. We'll have our wives have a good conversation.
And by the way, I'm joking. I think there's good points, and I think we should talk about them.
Yeah. I don't know about good points, but there's points.
But honestly, I wish there were questions instead of points, because I think there's good questions if they were formatted that way.
And like the first thing that and it's funny, somebody commented, but when she's going like, why do churches have this and this and this and that? Like if you go back to the Old Testament and read about like the instructions to build the temple, the instructions to build like the Ark of the Covenant.
Thank you. I was going to mention
so much detail. Like
it was gold.
It was, and you're going to get 3 cubits or whatever of this, and then even what the priest would wear, like the clothing, it needs to have this color rock, and then this, like so much detail. God is a God of details, and so
you're gonna be triggered when you walk through Golden Gates, and
yeah, you're gonna be like, "Dang, heaven's like a mega church."
Dang,
and I just want to give a quick disclaimer because people will 100% see me laughing. The reason why I was laughing is because everything that she said, that's our church.
Listen, my pastor's
We
always...
have trendy merch in the lobby. We have our coffee cups with our logo. We have our worship team. Their outfits do look fly, So
Yeah.
But here's my thing, right? It's funny, and that's why I was laughing. And as I was watching her talk, I'm like, man. And someone commented it. Someone said, "Good job at looking at 3 churches and then generalizing it for the other, for the rest of the churches in America."
Yeah,
because for example, our church, some might say it's a mega church, some might say it's not. We're not a massive building. We don't have hundreds of thousands of people walking. Like, we're not an elevation church, right? But are we a big church in our community? Yeah. Because I remember I commented to my wife. We were at Publix the other day, and I saw a few people from our church, and I told my wife, we're not a mega church, but we definitely have influence, because these are people that I see on Sunday. Now I'm seeing them at my local grocery store.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyways, all that to say that there are churches who can do all the trendy things. They can have the cool merch. They can have the fire outfits on worship and for the encounter nights or the worship nights or whatever, and all the other stuff that you said, the fog, the lights, everything, and still do it well, still lead people to Jesus, and people are growing. And I might sound biased, I don't care, but our church, I think, does it with excellence, because we still disciple people. For 9 weeks, straight, we're there on a Tuesday night when we don't have to be, right? And I'm talking about not just us, right, the leaders, but our church staff is there when they don't have to be.
Lead pastors are there.
Are there.
Pastoral staff is there.
Exactly. The whole pastoral staff is there on a Tuesday night.
And we're not dressed. We're in sweats.
Correct. We all come from work, because we all come from work. Work uniform. We stink like the day, and we're there trying to pour into people, love on them, sharpen them, And we have cool merch. Alex is wearing it right now.
Let's go.
So it's like,
I just don't get the critique.
Did she say anything about mega churches, or is she talking about this format of church?
No. She said mega. She said, "Have you ever noticed that the mega church in America is blank?" And then she went off on her tangent.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
The thing is, why wouldn't we want to be just as excellent as the world? Yeah. Like, if we're trying to reach people, why would we not want to compete with the world? I want Christians to produce just as high quality products as the world.
Why does our clothing have to suck?
Exactly.
Is the argument that we should be like whack and that we should look bad?
Exactly.
What's the counter? Like, my gripe with the video is there's no alternative given. It's an assumption that those things equal zero fruit and no zeal and no holiness in that building or that group of people. And it's just, I just don't think it's a good argument to say it's like, well, when the worship team buys an outfit, supposedly, right, every Sunday.
Yeah, you also don't know that.
You don't know them, right? But it's okay. It's like it's just like a mass generalization.
Yeah, for sure.
Or the merch is this, and then everything feels like a production. I'll talk about the production thing too, because there is a point, but it's just like, well, what is your alternative? What do you want it to look like? And my thing too, when people have a gripe with mega churches, is what do you want them to do? Have less people?
Right.
It's like, there's how many million people live in Miami? I think, Miami County, has like 500,000 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
We don't have.
I think it's more than that.
Is it more?
Way more than that.
It's like 3 million people.
Yeah, for sure. But go continue.
I think South Florida is like, hold on, let's see. No, we need to know. Okay, I'm just kidding. All right, anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is going to stand. We don't have enough churches to begin with. Yeah. Some of them got to be packed out doing multiple services. And even then, we can fill up, what does it say?
2,714,489 people alone live in Miami-Dade County.
Dog, churches are too small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're too small. We're unreaching. How many? It's too many people unreached.
We now currently average 1,000 people on a Sunday.
You're still not making a dent.
Can I say thank God for big churches that can fit some people, and we're still not scratching it.
Yes.
Right.
And I know we can plant a lot of small churches, and it's necessary, but it's like we cannot, bash the church that grew. Yeah. Like, and they were reaching. Like,
not only just that, but as a church that's growing, what are you supposed to tell the people? Don't come no more?
Hey, stop coming because we're growing too much.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we lit right now, so don't pull up no more.
Right.
Like,
And they have
think about it. Like,
Stop handing out those
and
invites.
we're running
Right?
into this issue even at our church. It's like now we have to have a little bit more structured service times because we're trying to fit more services. And it's like our parking lot gets full and our kids' ministry is having traffic jams literally there. And it's just like, it's not that we're trying to make it feel more produced. It's just that for us to fit more people in here, we do have to kind of add more structure to this.
Exactly.
You know, it's not as simple as like, you know, I know like there is more luxury, and actually I would even say a beauty, you know, in having, you know, a smaller church, a 200 person church with one service. It's like, oh, you guys have a lot of freedom, and it's like, that's a beautiful season to be in.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's one day I'm praying that, you know, you have 1,000, and it's not about numbers, by the way, it's people. Like you're getting people walking in,
Right.
You know, it's, anyway, I'll rant, but
It's a good point, man. And again, Ellie, we love you. We don't know you, but we love you. And
Come on the show.
I pray that I don't know what happened. I it seems like there's almost like a
There's projection.
Oh, wait. Look at what she put on her hashtags: ex-evangelical, deconstruction, religion. So that's her hashtag. So clearly something happened. Man, who hurt you? What happened? Like, those are the types of stories that I would love to sit down with someone like her and just, what happened to you? Like, who hurt you? And apologize. Like, I've done this before. I may not have hurt you, but if someone with the same banner as me, who calls himself a Christian, hurt you, I feel a sense of responsibility to apologize for you. I'm sorry that a brother or sister in Christ hurt you.
Right.
If they didn't represent Christ well, I am sorry.
Yeah.
Because we become brothers and sisters in Christ. So if someone hurt you and they carry the name Christian, I'm sorry. We should have done a better job. And what can I do to serve you better now?
Yeah.
And another critique that I have towards her video, if you go back, keep playing it. She was like, and don't even get me started on the spiritual growth plans
Oh, yeah.
and the volunteer hours. And I'm like, should we
that.
not want people to grow in their faith?
Right.
Should we not want people to serve like Jesus says?
Maybe she's specifically talking about like growth track and next steps and.
Okay, so you don't want people to know what their next step is? Like, you don't want people to grow?
Yeah.
You don't want people to learn more about the Bible? You don't want people to grow in their faith? It's just not the strongest argument for deconstructing a megachurch. There's a lot better arguments.
Yeah, this sounds like somebody that's scorned.
Yeah.
Or is church hurt, and now is just pretty much trying to lash out to the things that maybe while she was serving or while she was going to a church or something, these were things that were happening there. So she's obviously making it very general, but I think there has to be some specifics to a church or to, you know, a congregation that just hurt her.
Yeah.
Because for you to generalize like that, I mean, everybody's walk is different.
Correct.
So some people may be into fashion. I've heard literally, like I've heard part of, you know, the people that go to our church or even my own brother has been like, yo, you know, our pastor, like, he be lit, he be in the vibes, you know, he looks smooth. That's a catch.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Aside from the British accent.
Aside from the accent or whatever, or even, you know, the worship team.
Yeah.
Yo, that worship was fire. You know, I love the people who are up there singing or whatever the case may be.
And then you have the people who say, oh, it's so loud in here. And why is it like a concert?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, then go to your local Catholic Orthodox church and sing hymns or whatever.
That's crazy.
Dude, honestly, I don't this is the type of stuff that really frustrates me. It's like, man, there's 3 million people in Miami-Dade County alone. How about if you don't like what Sozo, Vu, King Jesus, Alpha and Omega are doing, go to a smaller church.
Yeah. There's the
help
option.
build help build that. And if you still don't like it, ask the Lord. Maybe he's calling you to plant something. I don't know.
And here's my question. What are you going to do when the church that you're in, you're helping build, ends up being a mega church? Because what did I just say about our church? Dude, we were not at 1,000 people a Sunday 2-3 months ago. That just started happening
starts
for
as
us.
a mega church.
You get me? And again, what we went through, we lost a whole slew of people, you know, and slowly in the last 2-3 years, we've been, you know, growing again and whatever.
Right.
And What are you gonna do when the church that you're serving? How many are we averaging now a weekend? 1,000? Ugh.
Well, I'm
Where you
stop
gonna go
going
then?
over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop going over there. I'm gonna go to another church. And it's like, listen, maybe God is calling you to plant churches, and that's fine. Maybe I have an apostolic calling. Cool, but I have a feeling that this is projection.
Oh, for sure, it's the hashtags.
Yeah,
It's
she's
her,
projecting big time. And actually, I was reading her captions in the video, and she actually just said something that I can agree with, and I think it touches on why she was hurt. She said that in megachurches they hand out leadership based on charisma. That they hand out leadership roles based on charisma, and I can agree to that. I think sometimes.
Okay, sometimes.
I
I don't like full on generalization.
No. I wasn't
Okay,
gonna speak.
okay.
No. I wasn't gonna speak. I wasn't gonna speak in absolutes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But there have been times, and I have seen people who have been given a platform, have been given a title, and then unfortunately, in a year or two, maybe a few months, they fall. Why?
yeah.
Why? Because, and it's something that you shared a while ago. They had a flimsy wall. And God came and knocked that wall down and revealed the facade that you're not who you say you are, So I think that that's probably what happened to her was that maybe she believed in a leader, she followed a leader, and it turned out that person wasn't who they were. And then that to me is a heart thing, right? It's like, are you following your leader? Or are you following Jesus, right? Yes, submit to leadership, even if you disagree. And even if you feel in your gut that they might be crooked or corrupt or wicked, obviously depending on what moral thing are they making you do, but I think you're still called to submit even if you don't agree, even if the person that you're submitting to sucks. I mean, how many times has your boss told you to do something you're like, ugh.
Yeah, as long as it's not sinful, right?
If it's not sinful, if it's not making you question or put your faith and your salvation into question,
your
integrity, exactly. Don't compromise your integrity regardless of who's asking you to do something.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do kind of have to die to yourself and submit. And I don't know, maybe I think that's what her pain point is that she believed in someone that just ended up being a different person.
Listen, man, and we've all here in this room, we've all had pastors who we believed in and fell, and it's heartbreaking. It's hard, but we can't fix our eyes off of Jesus. Like if we're really in this for what it's about, it's Jesus. And so, man, I get it. Humans are humans, and so again, I just think that it's not the strongest argument, in my opinion, to debunk or deconstruct the megachurch.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to say that there's not challenges, right? I do
100%.
think
And with that, I want to keep that thought. But Renee, in the meantime, if you can go searching the other video I just sent you, I think the next video we're going to show, I think this is a stronger argument against why megachurches can get complicated.
Let's go.
Right. So
Yeah.
let's hear this, gentleman.
Church anymore. Don't want to go to church. And the reason why is that I felt like no one was there for me, before the military and the traumas. And then during the military, it was trauma, but it was people were there for me. After the military, nobody been there for me. We would do anything for other people, but where are they for us? I just feel overwhelmed, like I've give up.
Your frustrations are totally understandable. I don't know what the churches are like in Biloxi. But I really want you to try again. And I really want you to get yourself a Bible. And I really want you to start at John 1. And I want you to just pray and say, God, if I'm missing something, will you show me? People will disappoint you and fail you and betray you and leave you. But Jesus never, ever will.
That video is heartbreaking to me.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Because I think, and I don't know if the church he was going to was a megachurch or not, but I think that is a stronger argument against megachurches or church.
Yeah.
Yes.
That there was someone that came to your church and this gentleman felt like he wasn't supported. Like nobody was there for him.
Nobody was there for me.
Yeah.
That is heartbreaking.
Right.
That is a good argument.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a club, and it shouldn't feel cliquey. And it's like, why did I show up and I wasn't welcomed, and I wasn't,
Correct.
that's a failed.
Yeah.
That's a challenge that I think
course.
every church needs to be really
sure.
good at. I don't care your size. There's nothing to do with megachurches. I think
sure.
megachurches it's exposed more and it's harder to manage, but every church should be good at, when someone walks in through the doors, we can connect with them. And then we can also have enough people, leaders, and it gets harder the bigger you get, but where it's just like they have people. You know what I mean? It's not just, anyway, every church is responsible for for shepherding is the word I want to probably use. And yeah.
And one thing I want to point out with this video in particular, this is a very common thing going on in churches.
Every church.
Every church. A lot of it could feel cliquey. A lot of it could feel, I'm not in with the Joneses, or I'm not in with the people that are in here. And a lot of people could feel left out. I've had that feeling before. Obviously, I've asked questions to the men surrounding me or in my circle, and they've allowed me to understand why sometimes things can, fall through the cracks, because unfortunately, yes, the larger the churches become, things are going to fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people who go serve on Sundays, these people ain't being paid to serve. Yeah. So what can
unless you're on staff?
Unless you're on staff, right? But what can you possibly tell somebody? Let's just say he's felt that he was never reached out to or never seen, let's say, right? And I'll just give a perfect example. Let's say at our church, people go on the PCO, they sign up, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be part of this. They have an emergency on that day, they can't show up, now we are short. Now we don't have anybody to fill that slot. That could be that potential guy right there that's literally coming into our service and we miss. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're a mega church. It just happens to be that, unfortunately, we had a position that kind of fell through the cracks that day, or that we had, we were missing some people, and these things can happen.
Right.
But unfortunately, these things do happen on a regular.
Right. So a few things, right? With the mega church, and this is something that I was sharing to Eric downstairs, was I don't blame the mega church when something like, and this might be a hot take and maybe you guys disagree, but in regards to this gentleman that says, I don't go to church anymore because, I felt like I wasn't seen, I wasn't acknowledged, I wasn't, whatever, reached out to. Two things can happen, right? Or two things might be happening. One, I don't blame the mega church for, if it's a mega church, I don't blame them if that does happen. Because when you have a Sunday where you're averaging over 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people, dude, you are not going to be able to say hi to everybody.
Correct.
No matter how big your team is, someone's going to get missed.
Yep.
It's just,
It's really
it's the reality of it. It's the truth of it. You know what I'm thinking about? It's the DMV. How many times do you go to the DMV and there's hundreds of people there? And how many people go and they don't get serviced? Because, sorry, we didn't have time for you today. I apologize.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow, and we'll be there for you.
Yeah.
Or you didn't come prepared.
Exactly. So that's one thing, right? It's like, I don't blame the mega church. I don't blame churches, I guess. Like, if sometimes that does happen, like, sorry that we miss you, dude. Like, we like, a church is a moving machine,
with people just like you.
With people just like you, who are going through the same thing as you, right. Who are also struggling, who are also, believing in the same God you're believing in, and having the same struggles that you have. Everybody here puts on their pants one leg at a time,
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is, if you come from a church that had 200-300 people on a Sunday, and then now you leave that church and you go to a church that averages the 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people on a Sunday, you can't go in there with that small church mentality, right? It's like, you can't expect that the pastor at this mega church is going to be in the lobby shaking hands and kissing babies. Like, that might not be the case because he's really busy and he doesn't have time to shake everybody's hand in the lobby.
Yeah.
Whereas your old pastor at your smaller church did have the time. Yeah. And Eric said something that I agreed with a lot. You said that, if you have a 200-300 member church, you should know everybody's name. You should be hanging out with them. You should be talking to them. You should know their families, their stories, their history, everything, because you have that luxury,
Right.
And then I think about, like, for example, like our pastor, he loves being in the lobby.
Yeah.
He loves it. He says it all the time. He says, if I wasn't a pastor, I would be a greeter, because he loves being there. He loves saying hi to everybody. As long as he'll do it, he'll just go to the door and he'll be there, and I think about that and I'm like, man, he can still do that now because we're at 1,000. But man, in 4 or 5 years, when we're at 8, 9, 10,000 people on a Sunday, you might not have that luxury anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you go in there with this thought of like, oh, I want to talk to the pastor and they're gonna get to know me, and it's like, and it doesn't happen, you get offended. It's like, you have to be realistic also at the end of the day, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
There's a conversation, I think, going back to Ellie, I think her name was.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm open to having a conversation, a dialogue, even a debate about should megachurches even exist in the sense like when it gets to like 50,000 people, is that healthy for church, for what we're trying to do, right? I think there's a conversation there that we can have.
Right.
Like, should that even exist? I don't know. At that point, it feels more like a conference.
Right.
And I don't know if that's even sustainable for what the church is meant to be. And we could have a conversation, discussion, debate about that. But then the other thing is sometimes I think, again, we don't know this gentleman's full story, but I know people that, or I've heard of people that they complained because nobody followed up with them. They didn't feel seen, heard. And recently I heard a pastor, he's an associate pastor of a church in Tampa. He came to our staff retreat and was just pouring into us. And he shared that there was this one lady who her husband had passed away and nobody reached out to her. And she was furious. Like she was, and she was upset. Like her husband just died and nobody reached out to her. She felt not seen, not heard. She wanted to leave. So she confronted the pastor. And she's like, I'm so upset. Nobody reached out to me. And the pastor goes, ma'am, I'm so sorry you lost your husband. Did you notify your serve team leader? No, I don't serve. Oh, okay. Did you notify your small group leader? I don't really go to small groups. Oh, okay. Did you notify the women's ministry leader? I've never been to any of the events. Ma'am, have you ever given at the church? No, I don't believe in giving to the church. And he said, ma'am, I'm so sorry. We had no idea you even existed. And it's a tough pill to swallow. But sometimes we go, they didn't see me. They didn't talk to me. Nobody cared to me. But we offer all these things.
That's the other side of that coin.
Dinner party, life groups, men's, sons,
all the things that
all
Ellie
of the
hates.
things, essentials. How many things do we offer as churches, right?
Yeah.
Sozo, courageous. How many things do we offer?
Outside
But
of
if
a Sunday that connects you.
correct. But if you don't come, then you get mad at me for not knowing. And it's the reality is, we have there's spiritual gifts, but
We're not
being a
mind readers.
sidekick is not one of them.
Correct.
Right.
And sometimes the spirit will reveal something like, hey, reach out to this person. But that's why I think it's important to have these open conversations. And my prayer for this gentleman is I really hope he finds a church.
Yeah.
I really hope he gets connected. He gives it another shot.
Shout out to Ali Beth Stuckey. She answered very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She answered it very well. One thing that I wanted to touch on the contacting, and I won't say names, but there was this one young man that I was discipling in Essentials, and his father passed away earlier this year, and I noticed that he had shared with the group that he was going to start a new job that would require a lot of travel. So he hasn't, he's barely been at church, but I follow him on Instagram, and I would see that, some of his things that he would post on his stories were a little, I was like, But I'm like, he's grieving. I know what that type of grief looks like. Losing a parent unexpectedly sucks. So, and then, I'm just minding my business. But then I felt that, that small whisper, like, you should reach out to him. And I remember when I did, I finally did. I reached out to him, and he told me, man, thank you so much for reaching out, because no one has. And that broke my heart, dude, because I'm like, dude, I was like, that really broke my heart, because I know, I know what it is to go through that loss of a father, and then to feel alone and to be in pain and to feel like no one really understands what you're going through. And mind you, I didn't hit him with anything crazy. I just hit him. I was just like, hey, man, how are you? Just thinking about you, bro. Checking in on you. Hope everything's okay. Praying for you. Boom. And that's what he replied with, like, man, thank you so much, because no one else has. And to me, it's like the power of that one little text message, that one little phone call that you can make to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know that if that's the thing that keeps them in the church, that keeps them in the body, you know, because they see that little act of kindness from that one person that they least expected it from. I'm like, man, thank you. You know?
Yeah.
So it matters. Like, don't ever downplay a text message or a phone call to somebody, and don't say no for someone. Like, oh, I'll reach out to them, but they might be busy. It's like, no, dude, don't say no for them. Like, you don't know if they can't talk to you, then they either won't answer or they'll tell you, hey, can I reach out to you later?
Pastor Benjamin always says, what does he say? My pastor always says, don't make my calendar for me. Like, don't assume my calendar.
Tim Ross says the same thing,
right? Like, don't I don't want to bother them, they're probably busy. Let them tell you they're busy.
Yeah. Right. They'll let you know.
Exactly. And then again, going back to what you said, you know, I think for me, that's a stronger counter argument or a critique of the megachurch, the church. Just like, I think there's always room for us to do better. And with reaching out to people, with inviting people or doing more, right? I think that's a better critique.
Yeah, and that's where I think I have comments on that. Specifically, that's an open discussion, and no church is perfect with that.
No church is perfect.
The conversation is not about mega churches or whatever church. It's about, you know, how healthy is your church? That's the conversation. You know, like, is your church thriving in health? Like, for us on worship, you know, worship ministry is a big ministry for every church. It's such a, you know, I almost said unfortunately, but kind of, it's a scene ministry, you know, and it's, you do carry a lot. I'm very thankful the way we do it at churches. We don't care how good you are or what you can do. We're very big about, you know, you as a person before what your talent is or what you're able to do. You know, it's like, if so-and-so is hurting, you know, I tell them all the time, I was like, decline PCO. Like, why are you accepting? Like, take the Sunday, go sit. Like, I will do that. Like, I'm not, you know, because I care about you as a person. It's like, so we'll figure out a bass player or a drum. Like, what is a Sunday?
Yeah, we'll
like, I don't
Sandra
care that
fly
much.
down to Miami.
Literally, I have said this. The real thing, I did say that. No, anyway, you know, it's like, so I think the thing to practice if you're a ministry leader, you know, are you more stressed about, you know, filling in your PCO slots, you know, instead of, you know, why someone can't show up? That's a health problem in my eyes.
And
you know,
sorry, but it's just like, this is a perfect example for the churches that use PCO Planning Center to schedule people, right, for serving, for volunteers.
Right.
If someone declines your PCO, is your response to that person, hey, how are you? Or, why did you decline?
Why can't you make it?
Why can't you make it?
It's like
two very different questions.
That's so,
It's they don't owe it to, they're volunteers at the end of the day, right? Let's call it what it is. These are
Forget volunteer. They're souls. They're people that were called to shepherd.
But I mean, like, I said that because I'm like, they're not paid. It's not their job.
For sure,
is what I'm trying to say. But it's just like, I think we get too much into the machine aspect of church. And we forget that it's just like, okay, but these are people first. Like, how are we pastoring and shepherding,
1000%,
you know, these people? And so that's the first thing I just really wanted to say. And the second thing that I was really wanting to share is I do feel like sometimes we can lose sight of the main thing. And I've been MDing on Sundays and gotten frustrated at, and there's pros and cons, but my view is sometimes I do feel like while I'm MDing I'm just like, I was like, this is too, like, I was like, we're so caught up in the production of this that it's causing us to get stressed. I was like, it's okay, everybody, if something is not, you know, neat. Like, like, everyone calm down. Right. You know, it's like we're losing sight a little bit. Like, you know, and then 99% of the time that thing, it's like nobody out there notices. It's just like everyone calm down. Anyway, there's like pros and cons.
For sure.
You know, but you know, there's ways to measure. I don't think the conversation is less about mega churches or not. I think it's healthy churches or not.
That's right.
That should be the argument. And
I mean, one thing that I wanted to point out is that I do hear a lot of the times when I guess they're larger churches or mega churches or however you want to put it, is like, oh, nobody knows me there. I feel unseen. And a lot of the times that's not even the case. You know, I'll give you a perfect, you know, example for myself. Like even at our church, at first it was like, dang, I see everybody spending time, with the pastor, everybody spending time with the pastor's family, everybody spending time, pastor don't even know who I am. And one day out of the blue, I'm just walking past him and he's just like, hey, what's up, Alex? Now I'm stuck. I'm like, this guy don't even know my name.
Yeah.
I thought. Then he says my name. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily that you're not seen or that people don't know who you are, they don't care. It may just not be the opportunity that they have to be able to connect with you.
Yeah. You're almost assuming that
And you're
seen.
almost exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm at fault for that because I assumed the same thing. Like, they don't know who I am.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, Alex. Oh, hey, Pastor. And like, I literally got stuck because I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, who am I to make it seem like they need to know me? At the end of the day, I'm here for a word.
Right.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point too.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
We come
Whoa,
into
we're
church.
gonna open. Yeah, sorry.
For real.
That's
It's
a really good
true though.
point.
Like, yeah, the pride of us. That's a whole nother conversation.
It
but
really
like
is,
the
but
pride of like me.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody knows me.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about me.
Me.
And
Yeah.
again, and it's a different layer, a different aspect of this. Yeah, we got to do a better job of like meeting people where they're at, trying to make them feel seen. But you're right. There's also I think I don't know if it's a pride issue or I don't know if it's a
No, I think
issue.
that's a victim mentality issue.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whenever it's the whole me, and what can you do for me, and why didn't you reach out to me, and why didn't they call me, and how come they don't hang out with me, and this, that, and the third. That's just a victim mentality situation. And shout out Pastor Key. She did a great teaching on that at Essentials.
Yes.
Yes. And it's just the crux of it is like, man, like God wants to heal you from that. And you can free yourself from that victim mentality. Like God doesn't want you to constantly live in a state of offense.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with His bride, right? With the body of Christ. Like you're never gonna grow, and you're always gonna. And dude, you cannot tell me that at some point you don't realize, even if you didn't have Jesus in your heart, at some point you have to come to the realization, like, damn, why am I always pissed off? Why am I always upset? Why am I always crying? Why am I so sensitive all the time when someone tells me something? Like,
Wow.
I don't know. Something's got like a flag has to wave at some point.
Right.
Like, I got a problem, and Jesus obviously will do that for you. But I think Jesus aside, anybody can get to that point. Should get to that point.
Yeah. Something that I thought about just now is I think, a lot of churches have their issues. This just came to me. I never hear a larger church caring so much about what other churches are doing, and I just have to be like really gentle the way I say this, but I think sometimes we tend to, criticize larger churches. I think stems from other issues. And I think if you're a leader doing this, because I've seen pastors even criticize other churches, and it's just like, number one, and the reason I thought about this is because you brought up His bride. It's just like, you cannot hate the church, any church, even if you disagree with, their methods, whatever. It's just like, that's the bride at the end of the day.
Right.
And it's just like, number two, I think that just points out a different rooted issue also in the church.
Right.
It's just like, why are we so caught up in what they're doing and why it works for them, but you disagree with it? And it's just like, their issue might be they struggle maybe with connecting, but your issue is your eyes are over there. And it's like, you really should be so focused on what's happening in your church and what you're doing. I think that's also a health issue in your church. Like I don't know if it's jealousy, I don't know if you're envious, I don't know what it may be, but it's also, again, it's just like, who cares? I mean, to an extent, like, care what they're doing. I think churches, to an extent are connected, but at the same time, it's just like, that's not it either. Downplaying, bashing, that whole thing. It's just like, where is that coming from?
Right.
That's another rooted, unhealthy issue.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway.
And I would say this, right? We can start wrapping up. Because I felt the need to say this, that if you're ever at a church and the pastor or anyone in leadership is up on that pulpit and they're criticizing another church or other pastors or whatever, I would seriously consider consulting with the Lord and probably looking for another church, because that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Consult with the Lord, yeah, for sure. But it might just be their struggle too, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I hear you though. From the pulpit to be calling out another church or another pastor, I think
it's a problem.
It is a big problem.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're right. You know.
That's why I specifically said the pulpit.
Yeah. From the pulpit.
You know, I mean, well, anywhere, right? If there's ever a leader that you're in, you know, whatever is criticizing, then you don't have to leave the church. But
if you do that, don't do that. You should be. You have.
If you do that, don't do that.
Yeah, stop it. You got 30 minutes or an hour, or maybe your 2-hour long sermon. It's just like there's
2 hours. I'm out.
Some churches do it. But like my point is, it's just like there's no way you had time for that.
Yeah.
Like you have gospel to preach.
Correct.
You know, like stay focused. That's
Correct.
just like
Right. That's my point.
This is you talking now. It's no longer a word for the people. Like
Yeah.
that's my
Good
thing.
point.
You know,
Good point.
But
That's what I meant. sorry if it came off a
no,
different
you said
way.
it right. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I would pray about it. Like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, and you said it. You know, consult the Lord in everything. Paul says, pray about everything and everything. So pray, consult the Lord, and Ellie, come on the show. We'd love to have you. We'll do an A5 and the Wives episode. We'll have our wives here.
I would love to see my HR wife debate.
I know, right? So Ellie,
Yeah, we could definitely do that one day. Oh my gosh, you know what we haven't done yet?
what?
Eric, you're getting married, dude.
Oh yeah.
We haven't brought it up on the
married,
podcast.
congrats.
Eric,
You know what? In the comments, still like a hand emoji. Clap.
If you're still watching, right?
you're still
Subscribe.
watching.
We'll see who the real ones are. If you're a real one, you're still watching. Leave a hand clap emoji.
That's it. Yeah.
There you go.
Put a ring emoji or something.
There you go.
We'll see who the real ones are.
But yes, we'll soon have another wife added to the
Can we do
A5
a
and the
pod?
Wives
That'd
team.
be fun.
Yeah, dude, of course.
When was the last time you guys done one? If you
We've
don't
only
mind me
done it
asking.
once. It was that was like over a year ago.
Yeah.
Bro, it's probably 2020.
Yeah.
So when Paul and I get married, it'll be like a good time for us.
Heck
to
yeah, dude. That'd be fun.
And then,
and then my boy Alex.
and then Alex
Maybe
over
one day.
here. Alex is
Hey.
booed up.
Stop playing, man.
Yeah, and yeah, your girl watches, so you know she'll be here. Maybe she'll
Shout
drop.
boo.
All right, we're trying to get unhinged. Let's wrap up.
It's late, y'all. We do this for you guys.
There you
11
go.
p.m. on a Friday night. We could be with our wives, but we're here recording content. Hopefully this blessed you. This edifies the body. And so we love you guys. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, throw it on the chat. We love to respond. And again, we just pray that this content continues to bless you. And subscribe. If you're still watching, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. We love you guys. Until next time. Peace.
Peace.